Farah! Sister, wake up!
Adir, is that you?
Yes, let me see you. Wake up, Farah. How long have you been in solitary?
10 days.
You look sick.
No food or water.
Sister,
It's okay. I can take it.
why have they put us together like this?
They're using you to get to me.
They would have to kill me first.
No, Adir. I need you alive.
Look. I stole a key.
To what?
We will find out. Here, take it. Catch.
Got it.
Good. Hide it. General Barkov is coming. He knows about the messages. Does he know that you are Karim?
We'll see.
Oh, look. Family reunion. Oh, nice.
Go fuck.
You want this to stop, you tell me the truth. Ведете его на склад. Make him talk. This one's all mine. Двери.
Keep your hands over, you sick bastard! I'll kill you! All of you!
I hope you had a nice visit with your brother. Might never see him again. Shut up and go in the corner. Do not face me, Farah.
Okay.
Turn around, I said.
Oh, okay.
Any plans you have to escape, you will soon forget. Face me now. It's hotter than hell in this shithole country. You must be so thirsty. Want some? None left. Let's get you some water. Двери! Follow me. In there. The chair, Farah. There will be no escape, Farah. No one is coming to your rescue. I'm in control here. And I can make your life much easier. Now, tell me about Commander Karim and the failed message.
Karim is dead.
Stop protecting him. Protect yourself. I've been patient with you, but no more. Stay awake and you might see your brother one last time. He's gonna give you a drink. Try to breathe. Breathe, Farah. You can do it. Ha, that's it. I thought you wanted to see your brother. Toughen up! Again! There you go. You can't breathe water. Find some air. I'm disappointed, Farah. Once again. Who is Karim?
I told you, Karim is dead.
Lying for him again. It'll cost you. Доводи! I found one of your sisters.
I said nothing, Farah.
It's okay, Azadeh.
Quiet. Her life is in your hands now, Farah. Stay awake, she lives. Pass out, she dies. Еще раз!
I'll make it tougher.
Not that way, Farah! You can't hold your breath forever. Let me make this perfectly clear. I call the shots. I gave you a chance to save a life. Now let me show you how to take one.
Don't, she is harmless.
Уберите это. See what you made me do.
I think he's one of the good guys. I don't know, I'm getting these vague... Like, it's really subtle, but I think it's there.
You must be hungry, Farah. Huh? Eat. Then we'll talk. You think this is a game? Huh? You think you can beat me? Enough, kiddings! Your brother took a key from me. Where is it?
Did you lose a key?
One is missing, but we have others.
What does the key open?
You think you're so smart? Karim. Huh? Yes. I know. I've known all along. Now, where is the key your brother stole from me?
I mean, do you like Nipton, Disco?
Azadeh had it.
Lies! We checked her thoroughly. This country is a breeding ground for terrorists. I am here to bring law and order to this land, and no terrorist thief will harm my country. I will protect Russia. Quiet.
Yep, nope. Definitely some very nuanced storytelling here.
Что с людьми происходит? Заберите их на складе и спалите его нахер! You didn't save your people, Farah Karim. You killed them. Вертолеты, быстро! Всех! Фire! Fire!
Loose, not tight. I need a tool. A spoon. Perfect. Nice little shiv. Yes.
All joking aside, I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm glad they didn't go more over the top with him, because, trust me, I've seen fiction go way worse with the I'm a bad guy interrogator thing than that guy. Legitimately, Babylon 5, and
Good.
illegitimately, I'm not going to name examples on that one.
Rocks. Yes, it worked.
Yeah, he is Cody, and that's the damn shame of it.
Got to get to those stairs.
Well, let's take a
I
sit.
can use this to climb.
Очистить здание. Приказ генерала.
Yeah, doesn't fit. Have to get in there.
Okay.
Find Hadir.
I mean, I haven't watched Farscape since it came out, honestly. Actually, a little bit after it came out, to be more accurate. But, yes, Farscape is awesome. Okay. Very true, Jesse Ward. Which again reminds me of the aforementioned Babylon 5 and the very quiet interrogator in that movie.
Get to the women.
Or show. Well, I would, but I'm honestly not sure what the game wants me to do. I guess I could hit this button. Find a way out of the cell block. Well, that's not helpful. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. What open hatch? Oh, that open hatch. I don't see none. And I'm in. Very true, Sierra Mike. Terrifyingly true. Well, whatever, let's open the game. Ah! I guess this is my path now, so down we go.
Я заберу бутарку с подвала. Быстрее, потом заберем других наверху.
Это еще что? Какое-то движение. Крейси, это место просто помойка.
Теперь тихо.
Это просто Крейси.
Эй, ты там! Где ты?
Опять на работе спишь?
I'm coming, sisters.
Hang on. Should crack out everything first. Yeah, no, that probably took a minute, Venters. Truth be told, he's probably not dead right now. He will be, you know, blood loss and all that, but... That was just another way to go, isn't it? Okay, whatever. Check the toilets. Okay, hang on. Yep. That's a toilet. Gas station toilet.
Farah, over here! Sisters, you escaped. I knew she would. The cards. What's happening? Thank you, sister.
Farah, come! The guns are here!
Thanks, Adira. The Barkov killed Azadeh down there. Yes, let's kill him.
The guards are coming back. Quickly, we'll ambush them.
How? Point and shoot until they fall, like we said.
That is a way to kill someone, yes.
Well done, sisters! Barkov locked the others in the warehouse. Let's get them before they're all dead.
Okay.
Hey, it worked.
Got him.
Yep, time to shoot them all. I'm joking. Oh god, I'm joking. Back!
Kill them all!
Good work, cousins! You're all very brave!
So are you, sister! We are trying! Thank you, Karim!
I was actually just looking, but it keeps picking up the AKs as ammo instead of, you know, letting me pick up the AK. Oh, there. There's one. Hi. Good music choice.
Helicopter!
Barkov! Coward! What do you expect from a spineless dog? Let's free the others from the warehouse before it's too late. On me, sisters!
The warehouse! Come on! Look, top of the tower! It's a sniper! sniper! He's protecting the warehouse!
That's where the prisoners are!
Let's get there! Follow Karim!
Go!
Extra vehicles!
Aim for it!
Follow me! Yeah, okay! Enemy by the wall! Grenade!
Okay. Ready to kill some dirty, filthy, stinking, evil, horrible, evil, also evil. Russians, I think? Whatever they are.
Enemy on the stairs! Southwest! I see them! Let's go!
That's a good question. When did Modern Warfare 1 come out? Anybody know? By the way, Modern Warfare also has a remaster, which is also a run that may be funded someday. Wow, that killed me. Where?
Rocket grenade! I see them! Let's go!
Was it 7? Actually more recent than I thought, really. Holy crap, okay.
I see them! Let's go!
For the third time.
Look out! They got the rocket grenade! There they are! One of the stairs! I see them! Give me cover!
This is the remake, not the remaster.
He's up there! Take him out! Watch out for the sniper! Soldier!
Yes, the remaster is on the list for eventual funding, but is not yet funded. It's a short game, it probably wouldn't take long.
Let's go, Fodder!
Nice shot.
Shoot them!
I didn't even get into the Call of Duty series until Modern Warfare. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person where that's true for.
Across to the warehouse!
I'm pretty sure in fact, no, I know with total certainty I played a Call of Duty before Modern Warfare 1. I couldn't tell you which one it is. I could describe it. I could probably picture, point it out if I saw it. But I don't know which one it was.
Enemy behind the bed!
The mission I remember most clearly was the Russian front of World War II, trying to dodge a tank convoy. If that sounds familiar, well then we've got it. Otherwise, shrug. I didn't even see what killed me there, but that's okay.
Rest, my sister.
We have to kill that sniper! Enemy's close! Cover me!
Probably that guy who just killed me.
Soldiers by that dead car! Soldiers! Cover me! Over by the barrier! On the left! By that building! Watch out for the sniper!
Again.
Northeast! Cover me! They can be close! Soldiers! Northeast barrier! East!
Well, the only way to do that kind of research is to pull in people from Portugal, specifically Portugal,
See them!
because they sound different.
Sniper down! Good kill! There's a way through here, Karim. The others must be inside. Karim, we're at the storage. Don't shoot!
Who's Commander Karim?
I'm Karim.
We got your messages. Lieutenant John Price. Where are the others?
In there. Straight ahead.
Stay close. Right, let's go, boys. Got to. Clear.
Oh yeah, by the way, fun fact, I did a little research. Normally, what's going to happen for something like this?
Gas factory. He's burning the evidence.
And the prisoners!
We're gonna breach. Stay back!
And the prisoners. We're actually not going to review the multiplayer in this. I was thinking about it, but the problem is what they've done is they have mutated and warped the multiplayer of this game so much it has become its own game. Remember? That was part of the issue I was having initially. So, we're not covering the multiplayer at all, which is probably a good thing, because it probably had negatives. I just thought I'd share that.
All clear.
I can't! It's locked!
Pull it! Try!
Adir!
Keep pulling!
Sister,
Adir, it's okay.
again.
Yes.
You did it. You did it.
Catch your breath. Collect survivors and supplies. We're leaving.
Go north. Avoid the highway. 506 to Cobalt 4, confirming station time.
10 minutes.
Rog, hold orbit. Hurry now. Barkov's gonna come and claim he's dead.
Yalla, Tazerna.
You know he's gonna make you pay for this.
We will make them pay.
We'll be ready.
My men have cleared the road to the north. You can camp there, it's safe.
Thank you.
The revolution begins now, sister.
The war begins now, brother.
Even war is a high ground. Stay on it.
It's a good quote, actually. It applies in multiple ways, too.
Bravo 6, wheels up in 2.
But yeah, no, I like that too, Sierra Mike. I noticed too, the SAS just show up and sweep. As they should. I mean, is there a better special armed forces in the world than the SAS?
20 years of civil war.
There's nothing simple about it.
Adir's well trained. Teamed up, kidnapped, doesn't matter. He took the gas to Russia,
Yeah,
John.
he did that without Katana's help.
Got the network and the manpower.
How can you blame him, right?
Unofficially, no. But this is bigger than Hadir now. We've got two options.
Or we warn Moscow.
Or we let Mother Russia have a taste of her own medicine.
No, a lot of innocent people are gonna die.
At the hands of a Western asset.
Okay, so let's cut to the chase.
What do you suggest?
A business trip.
Unsanctioned?
Black.
Who's your team?
Some old comrades.
And the sergeant?
He's ready.
I can get you in after that. You're on your own. Host nation weapons only.
Leave it to me.
You know what? I like that answer, Loner. The best Spec Ops team in the world is one we've never heard of.
It's a hell of a view, Nikolai.
I like to call them the Imperials.
The good old days.
I got 2 on the door.
More Alcotel inside.
Vehicle inbound.
Watch him.
Good spot.
Actually, yes, Kay.
Sucks.
Although I should mention, and this part of what I was saying was kind of joking, so I apologize for not being more obvious about that. If you say X is the best at Y, then people are going to contest that because that's how that works. That's especially true in the military, where there's a whole lot of professional and less than professional rivalry amongst teams, whether it comes to ground op teams or navies or air forces or even international police squads, but especially Spec Ops. So yeah, there's probably like 5 or 6 or 8 or 20 different Spec Ops teams with like, oh yeah, we're good as SAS. Right? I mean, that's just how that works. Who's the best military commander in history? You're going to get 500 answers for that.
That's the butcher in the yellow shirt.
Blaster from the embassy.
No gas.
No idea.
Easy shot.
Tempting.
Oh, how fast? The butcher gets us to Hadir.
Or the gas attack goes off.
Well, if that happens, then we're all fucked. Let's gear up. Get evil. Clock's ticking.
This way.
What's the time frame?
Hours or less.
No, Marines get the leftovers. The Navy gets the booze. I think we all know that's how that works.
You get the gear?
Best I could do on a short notice. Suppressors.
By the way,
ammo,
Nikolai, if you missed him.
No flashbangs.
Nice job, Nick. 40 cal hollow points.
150 grain.
I'm going
Your
with it.
favorite.
Conceal it for now.
Rally at the warehouse.
Rog,
Bring the package.
On my way, Captain.
Thanks, Nikolai. You're a bro in any universe.
I know you want another shot at the Butcher.
No grave deep enough for that sick bastard, sir.
You'll have your chance. All right, but right now, we need the Butcher alive.
Привет.
Привет.
Доброе утро.
That's not bad.
That's all I got.
Just for you, by the way, Sierra Mike. Just for you. You notice I even
The guards
considered
up
the other one. I was
like
like,
the
yeah.
others. Then move in on the rear door.
Rog.
Guns on my signal, not before. Easy, easy, mate. We've got permits, right? Show him, Carl. Now. No, sit down. Nikolai, trash in the alley.
I brought back.
You think of everything. Check your shots. Butcher gets us to Hadir. We need him breathing until he does.
This is retaliation. Today, the pain and suffering is not ours,
A fun.
but theirs. Huh?
Yellow behind the table.
Butcher is running! Get him! Clear!
All clear!
Get after him! Don't let him get away! Don't let them follow! Get them! Behind the bar!
Last call, boys.
Don't let him get away!
The last Call of Duty game I played that had a chase sequence like that, it was one of the worst scenes of the entire game, so we'll see how this one goes.
Down!
Too many Zach Deft.
Butcher's on the run! Civilians, take your fire! Fucking up! Nikolai! Target is moving south! Stand by for extra! Copy. I'm breaking. Butcher's on the run! Civilians, take your fire! Fucking up! Nikolai! Target is moving south. Stand by for extract.
Copy. I'm tracking you. The gunshots, of course.
Stay with us. Out. Oh, stay on him. I'll circle around for intercept. No use to us dead.
Reflexes.
Nikolai! Target is moving
Reflexes.
south. Stand by for extract.
Copy. I'm tracking you. The gunshots, of course.
Stay with us. Out. Oh, stay on him. I'll circle.
There was a person with a weapon, and I've been really careful to not shoot unarmed people, because of course I freaking have. Because of that, thank you, game, for making my point. But I saw a guy with a weapon, and that's, you know, weapons free. I'm sorry. I should have been way faster on that.
Sergeant!
I'm good.
In fact, hang on. I'm gonna do that.
Roger!
Don't kill this guy.
I'll take your head. Fuck are you?
Excuse me. Come on.
They die because of you.
No, they don't. Oh, come on. Oh, I think that was scripted. Oh, you... Okay, so now I'm upset. I threw that. And I got that way faster than last time. And that was just straight up scripted. Excuse me. Price's core character trait?
Contact. Vehicle. Left side. RPG. Take it out.
Coming on it. Okay, okay.
Hit that RPG.
He is what... Okay. Have you ever seen my Babylon 5 stuff, Mr. Root?
RPG's down.
I mean, you say that jokingly, Loner, but actually that's kind of where I'm going. One of the things I believe in, like legitimate believe in, and you've heard me talk about this before, is the ideal of the military. Right? The ideal of the military is something I actually believe in as a person. It's something I talk about in Babylon 5 because Sheridan is the same way in that show, for those of you familiar with Babylon 5. And I bring that up because I also believe in the ideal, or that's a little lower tier, but the ideal of the spec ops, the spy, whatever you want to call it, right? The special operative. Someone like Price. Someone like Section 31, which I've also talked about over in my Deep Space Nine videos. Exactly right, Cody. But anyways, my point, yeah, he's worth the Klingons. That's a great way to put that, Jesse Ward. Price is what Spec Ops people would aspire to be, because he is willing to do dark things. He is willing to do unpleasant things. He's willing to do bad things. But do keep in mind, he is trying to do it correctly, and he is trying to do it for good purpose. You remember that wonderful scene, which I gave a positive by itself, by the way, where he had to shove the guy with the civilian with the bomb on his jack over the side of the railing. You remember that scene? I was replaying that scene on the VOD just to check my memory on that. And one of the things he did was he spent about 3 to 4 seconds, depending on how you count that, struggling to come up with a solution that wasn't throw him over the ledge. It wasn't until he had no time left and he had no other options that he took the only call remaining to him. That is a Spec Ops right there. He didn't just do it casually. He didn't just do it because, oh, well, it's math. He obviously gave enough of a damn to try and only made the call when he had to. But when the call came, he didn't hesitate at all. That is Spec Ops, and that is Price. So yeah, no, Price is... Yeah, he's a Cisco, not a Justice Lord. That is exactly right. Just for those of you who've never heard use that terminology before, first of all, hi, I'm the Lowrunner. Thank you for welcoming me to my stream. I know you've never seen me do anything before, because apparently it's like the thing I talk about the most. But to explain this very simply, a Justice Lord would walk into that situation, see the guy in the vest, and throw him over immediately without hesitation. Just, there you go. No apology, no other tap, no nothing, because it is the right call. But that's the distinction between a Justice Lord and a Cisco. It's not about the results, it's about the intent and the mentality that goes into it. Both people would save those, both types of individuals would save those civilians. But one would do it a little bit differently than the other. It is an unfortunate thing. I'm going to keep this within the realm of fiction. That in the realm of fiction...
Clear! Butcher's running forward. Get it!
People like Justice Lords are terrible, whereas people like Cisco's tend to be necessary. And I say that's terrible because that means people have to deal with that horrible reality of making those kind of calls and living with it. That's not a fun situation. Having to live with that. Don't compartmentalize so much.
RPG's down.
The alley. Follow him. Skip it up.
And yeah, Garrick is also not a bad comparison. Garrick is also, ironically, not a Justice Lord. Garrick does care. Garrick does make the effort. Garrick does bother. Garrick is, ironically, what I would call a genuine patriot. A true patriot. Not a blind patriot. That's a different thing.
Inbound, Captain.
But a legitimate patriot.
Watch for reinforcements.
Where the hell are they coming from?
Molotov, heads up!
He's getting away?
I'll find a way through.
Handgun's working alright. I think I'm gonna go and pick up a rifle, though. I was gonna say, what? Luke? What are you talking about? No, yeah, no, he isn't a fanatic. Exactly right.
Watch for reinforcements.
Oh, I would hate to wake up and think that, Jesse Ward. That is definitely a thing that is fictional, and I would never have to deal with in real life.
Heads up!
Getting away?
I'll find a way through.
Listen, Kamek, if you can't kill all these people with a pistol and 6 bullets, more than enough to kill anything that breathes. That's Price.
He's heading for the river.
No kidding, Sierra Mike. Are you kidding me? Oh, never mind. That's Nikolai. Good. Frickin' aim, Nikolai. I love that. It's only a scratch. Get in the van. Oh, I'm getting up here. Okay. Am I driving?
Head home to your families.
Fuck off, shit pouch.
Get in, Sergeant.
I'm gonna grab this for no reason.
Small problem.
I have a feeling I'm gonna need it.
Engine is a little bit cranky.
Russian vans.
Cover us, Bob.
I'm just joking. It's actually a Ford.
Police are here.
Where are the chemicals? Up your fucking Russian ass. You can't hurt me, you weak piece of shit. But you, Captain, oh, you can do better than that. You think I forgot your face, SAS? Huh? Or you, Sergeant?
Get your head in the game, Sergeant.
We need to break this bastard, Captain.
We're about to. Nikolai, where's the package?
Pulling in now, Captain.
Okay. You go to Nikolai, you get a package, you come back here. Right?
I think I know where this is going, and I can't tell if I like it or love it.
Sergeant Garrick, package is in the back.
What is
Oh,
it?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Truth serum.
Well, let's get the truth serum.
Please,
Bargaining
please let us
chips.
go. We know nothing.
For negotiation. Perhaps the butcher will have a change of heart.
Mama, what's happening?
Shh,
Hold on.
please, just don't hurt my son. We'll do what you say.
I don't care what you do, ma'am.
Don't be afraid, huh? Your mama's brave, boy. Where are you taking us?
Where are we going, Mama?
We are going to talk to some men, and then we will go. What you're doing is unforgivable. We are innocent people.
Tell that to your husband. I want to remind you, this is important, okay? There was a scene earlier. I kind of glossed over it because I couldn't deal with it in the emotional state I'm in right now. I talked about the crash and all that, so I'm a little wonkier than usual. But there was a scene earlier at the embassy. Now, during the embassy scene, there was this bit where the butcher said, open the door, yada, 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 and we, of course, didn't. So what he did was he threatened a person and his son. First, he threatened the person, then he shot him, then he threatened the son, then he shot him. Son was probably about 8-ish. The butcher did that. Please keep that in mind.
I know nothing. I can't help you. I demand to know why we are here.
Kyle, you don't have to do this. You in or out?
Now, that actually impresses me.
I'm in, sir.
Good.
That
Oh, please.
is surprisingly impressive.
Amun!
Baba!
Careful with them, you son of a bitch!
You want the gloves off? They're off.
What did you do? Your own son is here, your own child.
He's got no problems with hurting children, is that right, Sergeant?
None.
Shut up!
What have you done? You promised you'd keep this away from us.
Captain, I can't do this.
You're excused. Pick it up, Sergeant.
What are you going to do to us?
Nobody's going to do anything to you, my loves. Sergeant, if you hurt my family, I will burn your fucking corpse. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Sergeant, take it.
Hey, no. Hey, stop! They know nothing about this. Okay, stop! Hey,
no,
look at me.
no.
Stop! They have nothing to do with this.
You tell that to the boy in the embassy.
Okay, stop, please.
Please, leave them alone. Sergeant, Captain, leave them alone. They have no information for you.
We want Hadia, and we want the gas. Where are they?
You cannot fix these things. They will happen. Nothing here will change that.
Such a good boy, huh? He's your mama's good boy, huh? Oh, shh. It's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Shoot me. What the hell?
You pulled the hammer, Sergeant, not me. Rest assured, I wouldn't let the Sergeant brandish a loaded weapon indoors, unless he had to. Now, last chance, where's the gas?
Fuck you.
Load the gun, Sergeant.
Hey, no, leave him. Listen to me. Karitka Theater.
Lying.
No, I am not, I swear
Lying.
to you, I'm not. The gas is there, Karitka Theater, I swear to you. Where's Hadia? The young blood? You're too late to stop him. Go, Sergeant. Save some fucking Russians. General Barkov already be dead.
Hadia, he's going after Barkov. We're done with him, you take a minute.
Russia and the West will go to war.
Gas is in the correct
Kill me.
theater. You're in quarter in, you know the drill.
Will do. Cruiser is yours. It will get you out of the city.
Hadia's at Barkov's estate. He's gonna kill him.
And start the World War.
Not if we kill him first. Gary, get in the car. Cover us.
Rog.
I stand by my statements about
There's a
Price.
fine line between right and wrong.
Один, входим.
Всем стоять, не двигаться!
Контактов нет. Вижу химикаты. Внимание всем. Заложники безопасности. Химикаты целый. Мясник здесь.
Принято. Расчет их им защите уже...
No, that person should have died. The Butcher should have died. The end. That's not a debatable. But you'll notice I was never going to shoot the others. I just, that's not a thing.
For us.
You notice that when I did pull the trigger, I pulled it up to scare him, was actually the thought process. Didn't realize it was empty.
Shock and all.
What if they don't move?
That all hell's gonna break loose.
3 seconds.
That's plenty of time.
Holy shit, Captain.
Nikolai said they'll bake him.
What if they follow?
They won't.
Boss. What the hell are we doing here?
We're cleaning up a mess.
With women and children.
They were leverage.
They were
When
hostages.
you take the gloves off, you get blood on your hands, Kyle. That's how it works.
That's the job.
Where do we draw the line, sir?
You draw the line wherever you need it, Sergeant. End of the day, someone has to make the enemy scared of the dark. We get dirty, and the world stays clean. That's the mission. Now, if you're having second thoughts, then I can do this on my own.
Second time he's given him a chance to back out.
No, sir. No second thoughts.
Good.
I want a Price working for me, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. In a clean world, people like this would not be necessary. We do not live in a clean world.
Alcatala search party.
Hadia brought AQ.
They're still looking.
We're not too late then. Let's get Hadia before he starts a third world war in Barkov's basement.
Really didn't expect this game to be this good. If you don't know, Loner, I can't explain it. Because the only I just explained it, actually, Loner, if you were paying attention. I mean, the operative in Serenity, aside from being a genuine zealot, up until the end, when his worldview was absolutely destroyed, was someone who went way past the line. Someone like Price goes past the line when he needs to. If that doesn't get the distinction across, I got nothing else. Alright, so since I gotta explain this, it's okay to disagree with me on this. Let me just go ahead and start by saying that, because this is a matter of opinion. But there's these two concepts. One's called a Cisco and one's called a Justice Lord. Now, even though I literally just described this, allow me to repeat myself. So a Justice Lord is someone who isn't particularly bothered by what they do. They do it, and they accept it because that's normal, and it's just how it is. As Hazardous so accurately points, for the operative in Serenity, doing this kind of thing is a Tuesday. It doesn't faze him. The only thing that fazed him was the worth it wasn't worth it. You know, the final thing broke him. You know, he was making things worse. By contrast, Price has demonstrated multiple times that he is not only cognizant of the line, but doesn't want to go over it, and in fact goes out of his way not to go over it. The distinction, of course, is that one goes over the line because it's the correct decision, and the other goes over the line because he has to. The entire difference, the entire variance between the Justice Lord and the Cisco is all in the mentality of the person doing it. From an outside perspective, nothing's different and nothing changes. Except in fiction, especially, and again, we're keeping this in fiction. What tends to happen is a Justice Lord tends to make things worse, whereas a Cisco can make things better. And yeah, that is another great way to put that. Price kept the revolver empty. I would like to think that we know that the revolver's empty too, because, I mean, if we're that level of a trained operative, we could probably tell the difference between a loaded revolver and an empty revolver, weight difference, yada yada. But you get my point. That's the distinction right there. And again, you can disagree with me on this, but I got nothing else to add to that, because at that point we just disagree. It's like I look at something and I say, well, this is yellow, and you say it's blue, and it's like, well, I mean, who knows what color the dress really is, am I right? Well, that's an interesting question, Loner. You'll notice we didn't have to decide that, but that's kind of the important part there. For the record, I don't think he would order us to shoot the woman and the child. I don't think that's Price's MO. Granted, this is an alternate universe Price, so that's up for debate. However, I believe with 100% certainty that he would not order us to shoot the wife or the child, because that's not really as far as it goes. If this level of leverage doesn't work, killing them doesn't change the equation. So you can look at it from two perspectives, the moral perspective and the logical perspective. Morally speaking, that's wrong. You are killing someone who is not a part of this, the definition of a civilian. Second perspective is the logical perspective. If you're already at the point where you have demonstrated the capacity and willingness to kill them, unloaded gun, then what you have done is you have pushed that person as far as they're going to go. Shooting them doesn't change or do anything. Does that make sense? Shooting one of them doesn't suddenly make the Butcher decide to share his guts. What that's going to do is that's going to fling his emotional trauma all the way into the complete reverse direction, and he's going to clamp up hard. He'll never share at that point. You've just failed his interrogation. Congratulations. So, from a moral perspective and a logical perspective, no, I don't think Price would have actually either pulled that trigger, ordered him to, nor would I have pulled that trigger in that situation. So, shrug, but that's my take on it. This is the 2019 Remake capsule, which is actually more like a reimagining. And yeah, the wonderful thing here, so let me clear up the distinction here in one simple way. I mean, again, we can still disagree. That's fine. Well, that's the job. We disagree and the world stays clean. Sorry. Disagreements are cool. I like disagreements. Disagreements lead to a lot of good discussion. But a Justice Lord, to continue the conversation, the operative would have killed the wife and child after done. And you're probably thinking, But why? You just mentioned that, it doesn't have any, it's morally wrong, and it's logically wrong. Well, if you remove all morality and go full cold, it's a Tuesday mentality in that situation, removing the people connected to the person you just killed ensures that there's no revenge cycle that's going to get started. So you have just covered yourself for the future. Cold calculus. That is a Justice Lord. Justice Lord will look at him like, yep, boop, boop, boop. And that's that. I don't have anything else to add to that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to hunt down Loader's wife and child and threaten to kill them. No, sorry. You got to keep levity in. You got to keep levity in when we're talking about things as horrible as threatening violence upon a civilian. I know I use that word a lot. Remember what I said earlier about legitimately believing in the ideal of a military? Part of that is the very concept of a civilian and how important that is. And how, I don't have a better word, sacrosanct a civilian is and should be. Civilian over there, right? Protected, segregate, separate. Wow. They put themselves in the line of fire. They lay down their lives. They take those injuries. They deal with the trauma. The whole point is to keep the civilian out of that. Anyways, plus it's a story. Where are we at? Here, I think, in pluses. Sorry, I need to chop this down a bit. I knew it, Loader! I knew it! You were always working with, what should I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh to that, Sierra Mike, but I get it. I get it. I knew it! Loader was working for Spectre the whole time. It is fascinating to hear the other perspective, because it's so easy to see it in the other direction, right? It is. If I can talk on what I assume is Loner's side, correct me if I'm wrong here, Loner. But there is a perspective that says that someone like Price or the operative is wrong, period. Like, there's no excuse for that. There's no line for that. There's no acceptability. And this goes into that wonderful gray morass, which is how far are you willing to go in order to accomplish good? That's that whole nice big gray blob that we've debated for centuries as a species. Especially in fiction, though. This is a very common topic in fiction, as it became very popularized in the immediate wake of the chaos and horror of World War II, and in the chaos and horror of the Cold War. How capable and willing and desirous are you of doing horrible? Like, if you were to save 100 million people by absolutely brutally, horrifically torturing one person. There's a story. Does somebody know the name of this one? Because I can never remember the name. It's a sci-fi / fantasy story. And the way it works is there's this utopian perfect society, right? I say perfect. Let me toss that out the window. There's this beatific society, right? And I say it with derision because you can imagine my perspective on this. But it all sits on the horrific suffering and agony of this one boy. Like, literally, there's this one boy who is being tortured and horrifically, and it's generating all this energy and all this power and all this stuff, which is keeping their society safe and clean and everything's cool, right? Anybody know which story I'm talking about? I can never think of the name of it, but it's a short story. It's a sci-fi bit. And that is an examination of this exact same concept that we're talking about here. Is it okay? Is that acceptable? Is that right? Is that good? Is that correct? Causing all of that misery to a civilian, to a complete innocent, to someone who does not deserve or need any of that, and yet so much good is coming out of that. Is that good? Is that bad? You get the idea, right? You get the dilemma. And so it's so easy to look at that and say, no, that's horrible. By the way, fun little anecdote about that particular short story. When anybody who lives in that society comes of age, they're told the truth and given a choice. Live their life, go back to it with the truth, or peace out and say, no, I can't endure this. I kind of liked that. That little additive makes that story even better, because that means that there are people who peaced out and there are people who stayed, and of course there are, because that would make perfect sense. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. The point being, the argument can very easily be leveled that if we have to go a sufficient distance to endure, then endurance shouldn't, right? Like we shouldn't survive. It's the Battlestar Galactica quote. Maybe you shouldn't survive, right? But of course, on the other side, there's a lot of in between. That's why I call it the gray morass, because there's so much blah, 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 blah in the middle of that. And it all depends on specifics and circumstances. And the really messed up part is when this drifts into real life. Because in real life, we don't know. In fiction, we could say here, in fiction, we could say all these people have X because of Y. But in real life, we can only guess. We can say, well, this might work out this way. This might be okay. This might be cool. I'm looking it up, Sarani, but I think that is actually it. The Ones Who Walk Away. 1973. It's in the right era. Nope, this is it. This is it. The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas. It's by Ursula K. Le Guin. Probably pronouncing that incredibly wrong. I'm just going to link this in chat for anybody curious. I haven't read it in a while, but it's a good one. I mean, yes, I agree with that, Kay, but you get the point. Yeah, so it's a fascinating question. It is something, how do I say this? I know it's not polemic day, but it is my opinion that in real life we should question this question. Not necessarily because there's an answer, but because we should be cognizant of the question. As Sierra Mike says, we need to know in real life, what is the Godzilla threshold? It's fascinating to and implicating the implications are fascinating. Let's get that in the right order. Maybe I did hit my head. In order to consider that from a fictional perspective, of course, but in real life, it is still something that you need to consider. I've said this before, and I'm going to say this very, very bluntly. If I had to go kill my niece to save the entire planet, we're all dead. So.
Stay close.
No math is changing that answer. You know what I mean?
Move up.
It's quiet.
Means that he is already in control.
Barkov may not be home.
I assume he is. And if he's not, he will be.
Exactly, Loner. And then I do a big revenge scheme. And
without Katana, best advantage we'll have is the dark. Stay hidden and only engage when you have to. If it is in Barkov's house, we need a chance to find him.
Absolutely, Lunareth. Without question and without hesitation. We're all dead.
Let's go. That gate's our entry point.
You're damn right I could, Ross.
For cover.
But let's not get into that. That's, by the way, why I do like Kirk, Ross. I know we've talked about that a little bit before. But, hello? Oh, sorry.
Let's move.
That is why I think there is a benefit, in fiction especially, of the Kirk mentality.
Hold fire. It's too many. Stay hidden. Keep out of the light.
In case you don't know what we're talking about,
Stay hidden.
there's lots of dilemmas that happen in Star Trek. Yeah. Thank you, Kay. That is a wonderful quote for that. There's a lot of dilemmas in Star Trek that are fascinating to debate. And one of the things that we tend to debate is how would X captain deal with Y scenario, right? Well, the problem is we never bring Kirk into that because Kirk would just find a third solution. So that's boring for the sake of the discussion, but there's a very powerful value in having that kind of a thing. It's the heroic archetype. There is something that's nice to be able to have a character, to have a story type, or have that concept of finding a third way to not have to make the horrible choice. You know, there's a power in that in its own right. I've done that a few times in real life. Once or twice.
Rally on me, Sergeant. We need to cover power. Use the fuse box on the wall. Keep bursting.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put that, Blackwell. Kirk cheats, and you know what? That's okay.
Our exit's blocked. Kill a light, it'll distract them.
Yes, sir.
Wait for him to move. Okay, they're splitting up. Two on the right. Let's hit them first.
Get a better line. Much better line.
Take the two out on the right.
ما عندي شيء بلغ عنه. رح ضل هون عم دور.
Now let's take the others.
Exactly, Hazardous.
All clear. Move up. Overlooks ahead.
Cheating's nice to keep in mind when it comes to sports and video games, but when it comes to an actual dilemma, there's no shame in cheating your way out of it, right? Within reason, of course.
There's the General's compound. Let's see what we're up against.
What we got, boss?
Main house looks quiet. Got movement in the clock tower, church, and pool. Rope down. I'll provide overwatch.
Yes, sir. If it would let me. Roping down!
I'll provide overwatch.
So anyways, found the rope. Found the rope. This is...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Take him out.
Sir.
You clear.
Yeah, so anyways.
Careful, they're outnumbered, but you can try and disengage if things go loud.
Really? There's a D-aggro in this mission. Actually, that's true, Ross. We just saw that in the Season 9 opener. That's exactly what she did, if you were paying attention. She had no plan. She had no options. Everything was going wrong. And, well, there was actually a safety net, but she didn't know that safety net was there.
Our children have left.
So...
Sounds like Al-Qatala's got a hostage.
See if Adir's there. He could have Barkov.
Where is he? Shuhan. Tell me, where is he?
No sign of Adir. But his men.
How did that not kill you?
Any intel could lead us to Barkov.
Yeah, that's a really, really, really dumb scene, Kay. Probably one of the dumber scenes in TNG overall.
Where is he?
Let's do this a little more clean, shall we? You okay?
No sign of Adir. But I have a hostage.
Find out what the hostage knows. Any intel could lead us to Barkov.
My father. My father. But boss, it's done in.
We still have to check the church and clock tower. Adir could be there.
So when I say eat the rich, this is not what I mean, to be very clear about that. Yeah, no kidding, Ross. I don't know if you saw it, but that I hesitated for just a second when I mentioned, you know, Twilight's, you know, keep going forwards even when you don't have a plan thing, because of how relevant that was. That's why, because I was thinking about that, and now it's just like, yeah, no, that's relevant. Okay.
They know something's wrong. Maintain a low profile and they won't know where you are. Enemy technical, do not engage.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, don't eat raw rich people. That's just asking for trouble right there.
Enemy technical on the right.
I guess I should just run at this point. Always aim for the balls. It's the butter's roll. That's a good point. Use the richest fertilizer. There we go. That's better.
أبو سعيد.
شو عم يصير هناك؟ You're only making things worse. Look at me. Where's the man? Bad move.
مين هون؟ مين في؟ شو عم يصير هناك؟
Deaf, dude. That guy just shot at me with a shotgun.
مين هناك؟ كل شيء غالي عالكل رح يولع.
What's that from, Kay? Hang on a sec, Cameron.
Even after you went to the idiot! You have a few more ribs I can break. Where is the man? I don't know where it is. ما راح بعيد. راح لاقيه.
Still no visual on the deal. It's another hostage.
See if they can still talk.
Good question. So hang on, Kemek asked me something. That's an interesting one, Kemek. I don't know. I'd have to think about how I'd rate that, you know, if I was judging them. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and chop off the golden guessing game probably after this mission. So if anybody wants to, you know, get your guesses in, this is a good time. As a reminder, you type in !guess in order to guess.
I won't betray my family. Shit, Captain. The hostages are Barkov's family.
Barkov's men came into Hadia's house, and now he's in theirs. Get to the church now. If they have a hostage, he won't last long.
No, 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 no.
I'll help you stay hidden.
Thank you. Especially since that tactical's coming this way. Let's,
راح ضل عم دور. بعد شفته. خليك منتبه. بعد. خليك منتبه. شو عم يصير مع الرهائن؟ المجموعة الأولى ما عم يركضوا. خلينا نشوف.
You love the hostage begging for help back there. You can't hear him probably at this point, but you can see the subtitles.
حدا شاف شيء؟ حدا يخبرني.
Nice work.
I didn't see an option to free the hostage. I could shoot him, but I'm not doing that.
AQ patrols are headed your way.
Loner would shoot him. Loner would be like, "Die, monster."
Good night.
He'd say like a cool one-liner. I can't do cool one-liners like Loner can. That's the real problem.
He's in the church. Sounds like he doesn't have long. Keep an eye out for a fuse box. Cut on the lights will give us an advantage.
وين عم يجي الضرب؟ راحت عليكم!
Find out if the hostage gave up Barkov.
That guy pulled a me. You caught that?
Third floor, 451. Third floor, 451.
They broke him. He's saying third floor, 451.
It's all we got to go on. Get to the top floor of the estate. I'll meet you there.
فيكم خبر من جماعة الاستجواب؟ اثنين منهم ما عم يردوا علينا.
دير بالك يا أخي. ما عندي شيء بلغ. انت يا اخي؟ شو عم يصير هنيك؟
Take this mission. You notice it's kind of freeform in a good way. Like, we're given a target, we're given a starting point. It's like, alright, figure it out.
It's running up. Get to the
I could get used to missions like this. Like, it's not quite at Hitman levels, but this is some good stuff.
شو عم يصير؟ لا شفت حصل له لسه عم ندور لا شفت حصل له
Place just lit up like a bloody football ground. Get to the 3rd floor now.
Working on it.
I think they saw me.
Place just lit up like a bloody football ground. Get to the 3rd floor now.
Working on it.
لا شفت حصل له لسه عم ندور شو عم يصير هنيك؟ لا شفت حصل له لسه عم ندور
And, I've been meaning to test this out anyways, we can actually take out the technical if we want to. Although it's probably going to garner some attention if we do, but, you know. We're at this point anyway, so whatever.
حدا شاف شيء؟ شو بدك ايانا؟ حدا خبرني!
شو هاد؟
ما تهرب مني! شو عم يصير هنيك؟ هو قريب ثامن، حالك عم يتوقف. مين هون؟ مين في؟ فكوني! شو عم يصير؟ فيكم دم! يلا يلا يلا! شو عم يصير هنا؟ واحد عليكم! هو قريب ثامن، حالك عم يتوقف. مين هون؟ واحد منا! لازم نتحرك!
All done here. I'm inside.
Head to the 3rd
Moving to
floor.
the 3rd floor.
Lead 'em. Watch your fire. I'm up top. Get the door open. I'll cover you.
451.
Go. Stupid bastard! Where's Markov?
He's not here.
His family was here.
Are you protecting him?
No, we're taking you.
Come.
Wait! I'm not your enemy. I know where the gas is made. I have the location.
This is Barkov's chemical factory.
Yes, I'm taking it down. We're still on the same side.
Not like this.
Then help us. Please, help my sister. Listen.
Get down!
I'm no way out! The north side tunnel!
You're in my custody in here. Don't fuck about!
The door is stuck!
Carl! The door's stuck! Quick! The door! Cut! Keep moving! You stand the hornet's nest in here. Barkov will want heads for this.
Oh, I noticed that, Sierra Mike. I noticed that. I wonder how that's gonna go.
We have to go now!
Hey, just keep your gun on the Russians.
Help Garrett, I'll cover.
You done in, Sergeant? On your feet, we are leaving!
Sergeant, your weapon!
Borsov out!
One second. Thank you, Doom Rider. always very much appreciate. Thank you. I will jot that down for, you know, my choice. By the way, I've been told I need to vocalize more. I tend to presume people pick up on verbal tics and things like that, but I've had a few people misunderstand me within the last week. So to be very clear, Loner, no negativity, no harassment, no nothing. We're cool, right? Like, I do legitimately enjoy our discussions and debates, and I do actually think that disagreements are awesome. So I just want to make sure we're cool. I'll put on the song. Like, hang on. I got them right here. This is why I bought these things. Here we go. Actually, I bought these for the FF7R one, but like, you know. Let me jot this down really quick. Okay. No, Lazarus, how could you? Oh, it's okay. I believe you. Listen, Kay, it's fine. It's fine. Well, you see, Loke, the Shinra Corporation would like to introduce you to this new concept called NFTs. I mean, the Shinra Corporation were trying to literally suck the actual lifeblood soul of the planet out of it in order to make themselves more wealthy. But at least Shinra never went into NFTs. Think about it. Which is worse? Well, okay, so I this game is already very dark. I can't actually, sorry. I'd love to keep having the shades on, but this game is hard to see as is. Let's get some other glasses on, shall we? See, Lunaruth gets it. She understands. But yeah, I'm giving 2 gameplay pluses for this mission. This mission's legit. It's the first mission I've given 2 pluses for. Like, this is awesome. I kind of want to replay this mission and see what other options there are. Too slow.
Give me cover!
Literally unplayable. Wait, where am I? Oh god. Where am I? Where is this at in the story? Where is checkpoint? Okay, I'm not sure. I think this is right past where I just died.
Come to the building! Go!
I wasn't killed by the helicopter. I was killed by the car. Where do you want me to go? That way. Okay.
Watch out for that gunfight!
See here, officer. Nothing to see here. I'm not resisting arrest. I'm just running for my life. There's a difference. I'm not gonna make the joke. I knew you're there. Couldn't see you there. That's Hadir. I know, right? So you're back. Oh, and we're back here. Okay, hang on. This way. This way. This way.
Come to the buildings! Go!
There's all 3. Much better round. Probably ditch this thing, actually. The deer was like, I want to uncross the line, please. We're like, nope. Time to die. Ooh. Yeah, let's grab that thing. No, Hazardous!
Keep moving north! Hit the exit tunnel!
I think they could have lasted a decent amount of time, unless the Galactic Empire decided to, how do I phrase this, make a serious attempt on them. If they made a serious attempt on him, they would win. But they never did.
That hero's stronger than you!
They didn't really have a big reason to, so... relevance. Yeah, that's where it wants me to go.
Got a visual on the tunnel!
Okay. That's...
I see
cool.
the tunnel, this way!
Bryce?
It's locked, Captain. I need something to open it.
A little bit quicker.
It's open. Let's go.
Harkonnen. How are things? Borg. Jesse word. Borg.
You helped me attack the lab, yes?
Not on your life. You're going down for this.
Captain!
This was a one-way trip, Adir. You knew that.
But you'll do the right thing, yes?
Boss, tell me we're gonna finish this.
We need support. Let's hope we get it.
Move.
Captain, please, give Farah the plans, tell her the truth.
We'll have a chance to tell the whole world.
I don't care about the world. I did this for my sister.
Baseplate to 06. Friendly air traffic approaching south of 180. Call sign is Watcher 1.
Copy. It's Laswell.
What's she doing here?
I smell blood. Lab intel. Keep it on you.
Yes, sir.
The off switch. We're turning him over.
To who?
Russia.
Prisoner swap.
It's one way.
What's the word, boss?
Stand by.
Don't make this ugly, Captain.
Give me a reason not to.
It's a proxy war, John. We're all just pawns in this.
You speak for yourself. Hand him over.
Yes, sir.
Adir's yours, intel's mine.
Whatever you've got going on here, I can help.
I'll call you if I need you.
A helpful CIA operative. Huh.
Got you 6, Captain.
Farah! Let's talk!
I know how this works, Captain.
Not this time. They gave Adir to the Russians.
They'll kill him.
If he's lucky.
Looks like you saved the free world again, Captain Price.
Adir located Barkov's lab in eastern Georgia.
Gas factory.
He had plans to destroy it.
It is fucking crazy.
Yeah, but we're all a little crazy, aren't we? Isn't that right, Alex?
Affirmative, sir.
With your help, we can finish what he started.
You're a good friend, Captain. And the worst enemy, I'm sure.
Oh, you have no idea.
But I do not cross borders and invade. I defend my people here at home.
Well, sometimes the best line of defense. It's all out. Plans, personnel.
I see. A militia with no ties to the West could carry out this mission.
And they'd all blame the terrorists, wouldn't they?
I knew I could trust you. If Barkov's there, he's mine.
I think you've earned that.
This is a covert operation to destroy Barkov's gas lab. Nikolai's on the inside. He'll provide the explosives.
Because he's a bro.
Two teams will infiltrate. Garrick and I will plant charges on the pipeline. Farah and Alex, you'll get a detonator from Nikolai and rig the main furnace. When the charges are set, get a safe distance and bring it down. That support from Laswell paves the way. The rest is up to us.
Troops in the open north side of the bridge. Call for fire.
Good kill, Watcher, good kill! Bells run. Let's see who's on.
Nora! Yalla, yalla!
Perimeter's open, Kate. We're moving in.
So, what's the name of the death plane? I can never think of the name of it. It's not the Hog, the other one. The artillery gun in the sky. You know the one. The AC-130. Death from above. So, Mr. Red says, who's the strongest person in the Call of Duty setting? And other than the obvious answer of Space Wizard Makarov, the answer is whoever happens to be behind the gunner's seat of an AC-130. As soon as YouTube processes it, Knock, usually takes about 24 hours because YouTube is stupid. But hopefully within a day, it should be up and on YouTube, Knock Loose. I know this sounds weird. I kind of want to give a positive for Hadir. So hear me out. Debate me on this one. By the way, while I'm talking, this is your last chance to go ahead and put in your golden number guess. If you type in ! guess, I'm going to chop it off right as soon as I'm done talking. So, Hadir is well written and well presented. He's kind of stupid. Yes, here, Mike. The third one is the one I was thinking of, though. Or the second one, sorry, second one. Because Hadir is just kind of... It feels like Hadir is a child playing at war, whereas Farah has actually understood war. And for good and for bad on both sides, right? So, I get the really strong impression that the moment Hadir decided to cross the line and decided to go ahead and, pull the trigger, was the moment he was just like, oh. And you'll notice everything he'd been doing from that until when we captured him was just him absolutely racing to accomplish something with what was left of his life. Like, you caught that, right? We capture him, and he's like, nope, no resistance, no nothing, I'm going along with this, I know how this is going. Yep, giving in to the Russians, yep, that's how this is going. Okay. That's what it is. But he got the numbers, and he got the data, and that was the last thing he accomplished. And you really get the vibe that he was just trying to do that one last act before. So, it even helps Price get up and saves his life, actually. So, yeah, I think I'm going to give Hadir a positive. So this is our... I'm going to make sure the HUD's up to date. I'm pretty sure it is. I still haven't thought of a story negative. This is ridiculous. Yep, that's where we're at with score right now. So, I told you, that's when we're cutting it off, so I'm going to go ahead and lock down the sheet over here. Hope you made your guesses. Whoever wins gets to put a thing towards stuff. It's cool. I need to do a write-up of the golden... Didn't I do a write-up in a command for the golden game? Oh, whatever. So the way you do it, Knockloose, is you type in ! List or review or GP, or like we've got literally 50 commands that pull up the document. But Sierra Mike just did one, ! GP, which pulls up the document. There you go, you can see it. As usual, I do try to type stuff up. It is also the spoilers everywhere link. There we go. Boop. But I'll go ahead and jot your guess down. You guessed 187, I think it was. Knockloose is here. I'll just put it here. I'll alphabetize it later. Jesse, don't you already have a thing there? Nope, that's Jesse's mask. My bad. Ignore me. Bragwin, please stop doing that. This is now... Bragwin! Whap! Would I compare Hadir to? Oh, that's actually a good question. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that. Knockloose was guessing. Where was it? 187. There it is. 187. There we go. So, Bragwin, the last 2 or 3 games, you keep adding an entry, like you did here. You say Bragwin 101. If you scroll up a little bit, you'll notice that there's a Bragwin because it's alphabetized. And I keep deleting the extra U's and then re-alphabetizing it. So, you're not the only person to do this. I'm just calling you out because you did it right here. Just stop adding extra entries, everybody. I leave the names on the list specifically so that you can just go back and find yourself. It's alphabetized. And alphabetize it after every game to make sure it's nice and simple. I have not, unfortunately, Plutonia. But can't you see the list, Bragwin? It's right there. Right under Blade Terval and right before Chaotic Danny. Oh no, this has been legit, Knock Loose. I have been surprised. I honestly figured, especially with the last game that was pushed out under that label, which is garbage. I know it's not. What is the name of that game? I suddenly can't think of that name of it. What's the first-person shooter game that only has a multiplayer mode that sucked that came out last year? Was that Vanguard? It might have been Vanguard. I'm not even sure of the name of it, but it's garbage. And after that and the fact that this is an Active Blizzard thing, and just I was like, oh man, this is gonna be crap. I was walking into this thinking this would be the bad one. This has been legit. I've been enjoying myself. Anyways.
Not straight to talk to you now, 3-1. Arrows are all yours.
Good on you, Kate.
You have the con, 3-1. Use smart. Watch her out.
The Monster Hunter series is a series that does not respect your time, which is actually what's prevented me from getting into it. Because other than the massive time sinks and grind, I would actually probably be really into it. Might actually be thinking of Battlefield 5, which is EA, but still. You know what's funny? We actually had a hyper beam moment back in Modern Warfare 2 as well. Do you remember it? The Honey Badger. You remember that particular mission? I only bring that up because you might think it's one of those, the missions that's actually the hyper beam moment of a game like this is when you have the turrets. But no, that's the hyper beam moment, when you have this death machine that is escorting you through a battle zone. And I just bring that up because it's a good, towards the end of a thing is a good time to bring this up. Yeah, there's also the Predator drone, which is towards the end of Modern Warfare 2. There's also the AC-130 from back in Modern Warfare 1, but I like to vary it up in their better games. Which is good. Variety is good. Me and Baron.
Enemy healer! Left! Only still on air support!
Jaguar is peeling off her reload. Stand by.
Enemy helicopter inbound. Take it down.
I'm dead. I don't even see what got me. That's okay. What? Oh, right.
Jaguar is peeling off her reload. Stand by. Echo, Jaguar is ready for tasking. Marking target.
Get rid of... Yeah, no, the problem is, fiction has kind of made us not realize how absolutely insane tanks really can be. Tanks are tanks. For more on my discussions, please see my TED Talk, Tanks Are Not Tanks. That's going to be $4.99. I also take easy installments of $5.99 a month for 10 months. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Yes, I do, Villa. But no, in all sincerity, like, if you ever look up, and I almost recommend you not do this, if you ever look up the capacity of the really good tanks, and that's not even modern tanks, just tanks in general, whew, they can do some mean things. Tanks are insane. One of the reasons why I'm okay with the fact that instead of using mechs like I was originally planning for the extant, I'm probably just going to use tanks. I'll go full hyper-specialization just because I like that. Really mission-specific tanks, you know? Global divisions, you get the idea.
Yalla! Go! Go!
Grenade! Move!
Where are you? There you are.
Now! Let's move! In the road!
Listen, Loner. Mech Warrior mechs are awesome. But... I just couldn't get past the issues with making them work. Actually, yeah, exactly right, Loke. Basically, rather than going full Mech Warrior mechs, which are awesome and cool, instead going something more like Iron Man suits. Not quite as good, obviously, because that's, you know, as high tier as it gets, but you get the general idea. No, yeah, that's exactly right, Sierra Mike. I mean, that's been true for decades. Speaking as a total geek, one of the coolest things I ever read about was a lengthy... it was a logistics supply breakdown of repair parts and personnel to keep the tanks operational at multiple fronts in World War II. Not what they were killing, not like the ammo or anything like that. No, just keeping the tanks functional. Anyways. Speaking of which, I finally came up... It's a shame Takota's not here. I came up with... Oh, I know, I drank my ham. The economic side of World War II is insane and awesome and amazing. Anyways, I came up with like a halfway way to keep tanks in the extant without... Or sorry, mechs in the extant without actually using them. I was thinking about making an entire sport based around fighting with armored tanks. Or armored mechs. Sorry, I keep screwing that up. So, like, you know how a lot of Mech Warrior games actually have, like, an arena thing? And, of course, there's, what's the name of that stupid place where they all go and they do that thing? And yeah, mech sports, exactly. And make that a whole thing. So it doesn't actually matter that they're inefficient or that they have physics problems or whatever, because they're not trying to kill... Solaris, thank you. They're not trying to kill the other thing. They're just there to have fun and score points and all that, right? And so, you know, boom, kong, kong, yeah, slam. You know, you get the idea. Thank you, Harkonnen, very much. I will put that towards Command & Conquer 3. Much obliged, thank you. That's a good question. I'm not sure we're getting paid for this mission that, you know, is off the books in every sense of the word. No, we got a sub. Thank you, Knockloose. Very much. Actually, I was thinking about construction mechs, too. Make fun, if you will, of the power loader in Aliens, but actually there's validity to that kind of a concept. You know, an exosuit, effectively, just for construction work. Listen, I've got a great idea, Loner. We're gonna have these machines and these computers, and they're gonna simulate attacks, and whoever is simulated to be killed has to walk into a tube and get disintegrated. It'll work great, trust me. Knock Loose, if you know what you want to put that sub towards, please let me know. But either way, thank you very much. I just realized I keep doing this. I keep talking as if I'm talking to chat, because my chat's up there, but then I look at the camera, so it's probably confusing how I do it. Either way, you're in both directions. Just it's a crowd. Just think of it that way. Like the Cyclops. Oh, God.
Soldiers on the road! In the midfield!
Exactly, Caroline was.
One behind that car!
Yeah, that's the other thing with the exosuit. So, this is going to sound like a stupid thing to bring up, but as a reminder, most of the enemies and all of the bosses of Mega Man 1 were construction material, construction robots. And ever since I learned that, years and years ago, I've been fascinated with the idea of using construction stuff that can be repurposed for action if needed. That hurts.
Helo destroyed.
Hi, Pillow Willow. Oh yeah, Protectrons from Fallout is another example of that exact same concept. Well, I think what the Russians are going to do is die, Zach out. And then kill me, and then I'll reload, because I got another guy. I'm going to die again. There's a lot of dying today. Please stop blocking. Okay, I can't. Retreat. Okay. It's okay. We're all okay here. There you are. Nope. Okay. Can't see who's shooting at me. I have not played Halo Wars 2. It is on the list. It's on the queue, excuse me. It was funded. Back. Stuck!
Stop it!
2 left! Stitch him up!
I could take down that guy.
Clear!
The vegetation was like, ah, no. I'm like, no!
This is your start line.
I mean, isn't that Russia in a nutshell? Is you don't fight the enemy armies, you fight the environment.
Wait for Nikolai for the charges!
That's done. Barkov can use the gas.
He'd never use the gas on his own people that are fleeing.
We'll get there.
Yep.
You're well armed for a lab.
We will bury it all.
Everyone, fan out!
Nah. Did you notice we're using Hadir sniper rifle still? Holla, you got it. Give me 1 second. Let me toss that grenade out there. Let me get away from this grenade here. One more up top. And you got it. I'll put you towards Valhalla. Bam. In fact, mean the death rifle. Oh, come on. I don't know what the caliber is in that thing, but probably fun. Now, what sucker killed me? Remember the cycle. They kill me, then they die. That's how this works.
Moving up, second level.
Inside, upstairs.
Target is moving.
Moving up, second level.
Ooh, that's why. What? Okay, there's 4 up there. Okay. Got it. We'll be a little more cautious. I can do that.
Moving
a little
up.
more
Second
cautious. What the heck is a lepa? I know it's towards the end of the game when they're giving us an option on guns. Sorry, Farah. You were in a very unusual spot, and I thought you were an enemy. Oh, Baba Kawama Gifa! There we go. That's the stuff it can claw.
Let Alex go!
Working on it.
Let's go! Outside! Ivan, that's him!
Alex! Farah!
Nikolai.
Come quickly, get their charges.
Thank you.
The detonator will start the chain reaction.
Load the furnace, the rest follows.
Correct. Don't lose it.
Why help us?
Barkov is a stain on my country. It will not stand.
Спасибо, Nikolai.
Nikolai's always been a bro.
I'll take the rest with Price and Sergeant Garrick. See you on the other side.
Dude, Sierra Mike, you don't understand how amazing these masks are in fiction. I can't, it's not just I can see through them, I can eat through them too. I'm practically a McNinja. Oh, wow, they kept coming. They didn't stop, they hit the ground running. You got this, I drink with a ham. I demand to know how terrible it turns out. I mean, wonderful. Do not leave your stations. We're under terrorist attack. What? What kind of general are you? Don't answer that question. We already answered this one. He's a warlord. Hello. So I guess there's a reason they call this an incendiary gun. Not sure why exactly. Not sure I like the accuracy on it, but the results are rather satisfying, I will admit. Hang on, where's the wall? There we go. Whoop!
Northwest, watch out!
It's fine, loner. See? No issues. Definitely not war criminaling anything. God, I need to do. Or I could get more incendiary rounds. You know what? I'm actually okay with that. Sure. Well, shoot. Jesus, juggernauts are terrible. My God. I know they're juggernauts, and I get it, but yikes! Nope, 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 nope. What? I do have the anti-materials rifle, but I'm not sure I have the range for it. That real quick, and then we're gonna run! that. Get some gas going on. Oh, yeah. Take that in. That's the wrong button. Look away from my own flashbang. Alright, what do we got? Move. Jesus, this is my anti-materials rifle he's just walking through. Good God. I would not be near there. I know that was a headshot. There.
Big boy's down.
Jesus. Apparently, Zach Deft. Yeah, Juggernauts have always kind of sucked. Just yikes.
Alex, the furnace is this way. This way to the furnace. We're getting close.
Yeah, I noticed that. He was just beelining me.
Butter, we've got a problem.
What is it?
Echo, this is Actual. How copy?
Send traffic, Actual.
Got eyes on General Barkov. I say again, Barkov is moving to the helipad.
Echo is approaching the furnace now, Actual.
Set your charges and move.
Roger, Echo out. You heard him. Let's get it done.
Now I gotta figure out how to set him off.
The furnace is through here. There's the door.
On it.
I mean, actually, I kind of like the idea of Juggernaut from a gameplay perspective. In story, it's ridiculous. But, you know, whatever. It's a way to have a boss.
Clear. What happened?
Detonator's fucked.
It's dead. I'll go in there.
And do what?
Ignite the furnace.
You'll never get away in time.
I know what I'm doing.
Farah, listen to me.
No, you listen to me. Because of this poison, my people have known something worse than war. I did not come this far to turn back.
I'm not asking you to turn back. I'm asking you to give me the order.
I won't do that.
Commander, please.
I am not your CO.
Then who is? Because someone needs to light this fire and someone needs to kill Barkov. And you can't do both. I've been an assignment my whole life. This is what I believe in. Give me the order.
You are a freedom fighter, Alex.
You're a born leader, Farah. Say the word.
Go.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a really nice, it's a little touch, but you notice how he straightens up every time he asks for the order. Did you catch that? I forget the term. There's a specific term for that posture. He did it each time. Meanwhile...
Bravo, Echo is set at the furnace. Farah's going for the general.
Roger, Echo. Find to the pipeline
I couldn't think of it, but yeah, that's at attention. He goes to attention each time.
Not at all. Stolen with that sniper.
Okay. Little low. Still low? Wow. Let's try that. That should do it. Oh, really? How the hell did I miss that?
RPG left side!
A scar. Great. Move on. You know what? Sure. Why not? Just for fun. Okay, sorry. Had her fun. So we're gonna have it again! Be a little more precise. I mean, miniguns are fun, but there's also a nice way to use them, right? Nice. And die instantly to something I didn't even see. Let's get a little more angle this time. Almost. Yes, Jesse Ward. There's actually someone earlier, I drank him a ham, who would like it if you would put money towards Mark of the Ninja in exchange for whatever you want to put it towards. He actually asked me to hold that in, I guess that's escrow, technically. I'm turning it into the donation bank here. You know, shot of me. It's nothing but donation bank. It always was.
Give me cover! Got it!
Mark of the Ninja, Jesse Ward. The platformer, I believe. God, it's actually been a while. Pretty sure it's a good thing, though. Long live the banks! Or, I mean, the bank. Because there's only one bank. Me! If I ever take over the world, there's going to be one bank. And it's going to be called Lore, and it's going to be me. And that's how I'm going to take over the world. And that's Captain Price. Sorry about that. If you ever hear about a new bank starting up, that would be the time to start getting afraid.
2 left. Clear them out.
Would.
Targets to the southeast.
Would you? You're the jackass who killed me earlier. And I bet the snipers left, too. Unfortunately for you, I already killed your little dog. Yes, the International Bank of Fear. For all time's sake. Where you at, boy? Hi. Want to poke your head up? It's okay, I won't shoot you. I mean, I shouldn't lie. I'm a terrible liar. I'm so gonna shoot you. What is this thing? Oh, okay. He does not want to poke his head up. He wants to keep living. Why do you want to live? You're Russian! Russians love dying! Sorry. Listen, Andy, I wouldn't think about it too much, because when I take over the world, there will be only my bank. That bank will go towards Zekta. And he'll be in charge of the world then. That's a hell of a distribution. So, okay, so his is going towards Justified. And yours, Jesse Ward, the amazing, going towards Mark of the Ninja. Thank you very much, Jesse Ward, as always. Actually, it's funny. I've done real thoughts, mostly just for fun, about what would make the most money. And there's 3 things that are kind of juggled in there, and being a bank, like a real bank, an international bank, is one of those. Banks wield a stupid amount of influence historically. So, you know.
Kyle, the charges!
It's funny how many times you learn about, like, a historical event or whatever, and it's like, so this king with this army was doing this, but then the bank wouldn't let them, so they didn't. Stuff like that.
Welcome fucking out. Farah, Nikolai, where are you?
Мне все равно, сколько сейчас времени! С Москвой мне связь! Быстро!
Say again. Barkov is wheels up.
Скажите им это, генерал Барков! Меня не будут игнорировать! Все равно, сколько сейчас времени! С Москвой мне... Вот, Карим! А что говно?
And I'm dead. That's true, Ickett.
Stand by.
I'm gonna be a little more cautious this time.
С Москвой мне связь! Быстро! сказал Барков! Меня не будут игнорировать!
And Moscow's just ignoring this guy for some reason. Weird how that works out. Hey, boy.
You! I'm still here, father. Still alive. Still killing rats. I am Russia's protector. I will never allow thieves and crooks to terrorize my homeland. There can be no peace without law and order. I will never surrender.
I wasn't asking for a surrender, so I appreciate the thought.
I told you, father, a long time ago, your country breeds terrorists. That's why you're here. Do you see it now? I was trying to protect Russia. I was trying to stop this. Now I see. I should have done more.
There is only one terrorist. Audit.
What's the status?
Captain, Barkov is dead.
Roger that. Alex, charges set? Affirmative, sir.
Alex.
I'm not getting out of here. Let's do this.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You're on Jesse Ward.
Roger. All stations on my mark. 3, 2, 1.
Mother Russia would approve.
Hi, Nikolai.
Where to?
Urzikstan. Home.
Yeah, you noticed, by the way, that Russia cut him out and left him to dry. You caught that, right? Oh yeah, rogue military agent. Nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us.
Tea?
Yeah, well, I'm a long way from a proper pint.
Russia disowned Barkov.
Well, they didn't have much choice, did they? He's dead.
You took a big bite out of that problem, John.
For now.
Weird desync.
It won't be. General Shepard pulled the files you asked for.
Yeah, General Shepard. He's a stand-up guy. I like him. We should learn more about him already. Real quick, I did see it, Maz. Thank you for watching my show. I'm putting that towards Witcher Season 1.
What exactly is this about?
A task force.
No, it's still desynced. Whatever.
We already have loose ends.
Then I will tie them.
I can fund assets, not outlaws.
Enjoy the tea, then.
Sakayev wants Barkov's throne.
I almost buried him in Pripyat with Macmillan.
That was the father. This is the son, Victor.
I told you Imran was dead.
Lovely family.
They're big fans of Hadir's.
Well, that would explain why he's still alive.
They're gonna get him out.
Then give me what I need.
Who's your crew?
Sergeant Garrick.
Kyle?
They call him Gaz. He never said anything. John McTavish. SAS, sniper, demolitions, goes by soap.
Why?
It's classified.
What kind of name is Soap?
Simon Riley.
There's no picture.
Never. Now the rest. That's neat to know. Unless we got a deal.
What are you calling this task force?
141.
141.
I'm sad that this isn't getting a sequel. I really am. Or maybe it will. Maybe it'll get a sequel. This is legit. That was good setup, good payoff, and it left room for it to keep going in the ultimate standard, as I described earlier. "141" was his old task force back in the original timeline, the original continuity of Zach Taft. Damn, who knew Activision could still make good games? I know, this is several years ago. 2 years ago at this point. Well, that's a good question, but thankfully it isn't, Trihexia, so I don't have to answer it. Emran's dead. It does, though. I agree, Oven Mistwalker. It's a bit different tone. I think that's okay, Hazardous, mostly because they only really did it right there for one scene right at the ending. Like, if you're gonna go full hog with, you know, that kind of fan service, if you only do it for one scene, it's a little more palatable, right? It's a little more, what tends to irritate me is when they do it, like, across the whole movie or the whole show or the whole game or whatever, then it's like, okay, I get it, God. I never came up with anyone, Loke. No, so there's a character, I actually don't remember what his name was, or his call sign, but there's a character in the Modern Warfare series who himself is a reference to a character from Call of Duty. And it became a running gag that he never actually shows his face and we never learn his real name. And we never do, throughout all of Call of Duty and throughout all of the Modern Warfares. It'll be interesting to see if they go anywhere with this. Of course, I can't think of his damn name now. Whatever. Alt-tab. I cannot alt-tab. Good to know. Demonware! Oh, Ghost! Duh. Is it? Oh, maybe it's not Ghost then. Because Simon Riley was mentioned there. I have no idea if Alex still is alive or not. Maybe it is Ghost. Well, whatever. So I guess in that case I have no idea who the other person is, because if Simon Riley was Ghost, then that's Ghost. That's the guy I was mentioning. I didn't actually know they named Ghost. Raven Software, which is, as of this moment, entering its 4th week of walkouts in protest. Commenting, don't mind me. Just kind of waiting to see if there's anything here. There probably isn't. How do you know this, Zach Taft, and why are you telling me this, for that matter? Yeah, I know Raven did the remaster. I heard the remaster was pretty good. We'll find out if... Hey! 5 production babies. Sorry. We'll find out if we ever actually play that. If you don't know about the protest, don't worry about it. I was just commenting on it. It's on the wiki. Okay, but where is it in the game? Ah, gotcha, Cody. Oh, okay. So we'll skip, if I can remember how to skip. Ah, there it is. Correct, hazardous. I mean, I liked this quite a lot, Chemic. This is probably going to score pretty well. Again, consider me surprised. Oh, there we go.
Нет! Нет! Умоляю! Пожалуйста!
You. Well, good to know he's still operating in the alternate timeline. Asshole. Yep, Al-Assad.
City's under evacuation. Al-Qatala's got complete control.
This place was nice once.
Well, it's not anymore.
East and West rebuilt Verdansk after the Cold War.
AQ didn't like that cooperation. Now they've got armor, heavy weapons.
Terrorists with tanks.
Who's at the helm?
Someone new.
Nice hit. What's his name?
We don't know, but he's got friends in high places.
This is Russian intel. Where did we get this?
My counterpart in Moscow.
The CIA working with the FSB.
Not the first time.
Kamarov.
Captain Price. Nikolai. Been a bad boy.
From you, that's a compliment.
Please. We're all friends here. I owed you. For Beirut.
Sergeant Kamarov is going to help conduct this operation.
These new weapons give Alcatraz the power to turn acts of terror into acts of war. This is a problem. For everyone.
We're launching a multilateral force to hunt AQ's new leader and contain this threat while we still can.
And this is the multiplayer stuff.
Okay, we're in. Start up your teams. Let's operate.
Maybe? Dramatic pause? Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it. So that was Blops 8. Modern Death War. Yeah, she looks so much like that woman. I wonder if what happened is they brought in the same actress to play her as Karen.
You are in my house now.
Or Linda, or whatever her damn name was.
Set up on the edge of Barkov's.
And because they're doing, you know, the actors are being played by their voice actors, I wonder if that's why she looks just like her. Let's check it some real quicker. Nice, nice gun. Battle Pass! Yeah, okay.
We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. We're gonna just... We're good. We're done. I said we weren't covering that stuff, and we're not. I made that decision earlier today. That wasn't the original decision. But for right now, I gotta do some number crunching really quick. This is a short game. This is gonna score pretty well. Alright. Outro. So, final mission, final encounter, yada yada yada. If I'm being honest, I feel that was kind of not as good as several of the other missions. The initial climb up the hill to the to the fortifications was actually pretty legit, but then it just kind of devolved into another map with not really anything to vary it up from a gameplay axis. And story-wise, while it was nice to see, Farah getting her big thing, I feel like the colonel, or excuse me, the general himself kind of ruined that. Alex's scene was legit. Probably the best scene there. Oh, hopefully about 10 or 15. Try to give or take. Yeah, the Juggernaut was cool. So they did this previously in Modern Warfare 2. They introduced the Juggernaut in the story mission, so you can interact with it in the spec ops and the optional stuff. But you only really saw it in the story mission like the one time. It was a much more regular encounter in the other stuff. So I think from a gameplay axis, I'm probably going to go ahead and call the outro a wash. Good enough. Not good enough for a positive. Story-wise, I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I mean, it did take a couple of shots, and did he, to give me a bit of perspective. And I did try grenades first. I'm honestly a terrible shot with grenades. I'm a good shot with a gun, with a bow and arrow, not with a grenade. Maybe it was Modern Warfare 3 I'm thinking of. I'm probably misremembering. I just remember they showed up once. See, the thing is, I didn't think it was Modern Warfare 3 because Modern Warfare 3 we get in the Juggernauts and we go on in the final mission. Hey, Walker. Yeah, the airfield ambush. I was right. There were some in Modern Warfare 2. I was right. Yay. Yay for good memory. Nah, I think it just doesn't quite nail it the way it needs to. It was good enough, but I don't think I'm going to give the outro a positive. So let's go through the audit really quick then. Let's pull this up, shall we? Listen, all I'm saying is that bows are the ultimate weapon. I think we can all agree with that. And 100mm guns. But yeah, bows are up there, Technically our second Call of Duty game reviewed. I think this one will score a little bit better than World War II, because World War II is ultimately a forgettable, passable game. Actually, it just occurred to me. That's not where this goes, is it? Let's put that. Yes, this is not Modern Warfare 1. It is either a reboot or an ultimate, depending on what happens next. It's one of the two. Here, have some music. Oh my god, Sierra Mike, always with the bigger guns. Jeez, the size doesn't matter, buddy. You gotta think about that. 100mm just feel to it, You don't get with 155. Now the 300mm, oh, that's much better because it's bigger. Sorry. But yeah, that's why... So I labeled this Modern Warfare Remake because calling it Modern Warfare is stupid. The name of this game is Modern Warfare. You'll never hear me call it that other than that thing just now. We're going to call this forevermore the Modern Warfare Remake because it's a lot more informative and a lot more accurate. Now, if another game comes after this, which is different, well, that'll be interesting. We may change that later, but for now, we're calling it Modern Warfare Remake. So, I guess I could call it Modern Warfare Reboot instead. Someone go kill Pillow Willow for me. Just super quick, please. Just like make it really, really violent. But it has to be very quick. That's important. I don't want Pillow Willow to suffer. Story axis. Animation, gave a plus for that. Atmosphere and tone. Nah. Babylon 5 effect? No. Background lore? No. Banter? I did give a banter positive. Branching narrative? Doesn't exist. Camera work? Barely there. Characters? We gave several character positives. Like 3, 4, actually. Jeez Louise. Cinematics? Consequence storytelling, not really. Cutscene incompetence, actually surprisingly skipped over that. Dialogue is okay. I think that's a wash. Doodads, we gave 2 pauses, because holy crap. Empty text, no problem. External continuity doesn't apply here, because it's a reboot. Fake drama, surprisingly skipped over that. I figured they'd go that way with Hadir, and they didn't. I'm not sure, Chemic, but obviously I haven't reviewed Modern Warfare 1 yet. You know, plug for the Modern Warfare 1 run. It's on the list, but not funded right now. So, I actually just answered that earlier, but I know you weren't here for that, Knock Loose. So originally, usually when I cover a game, I try to cover as much of a game as I can. That's the point of the review. For good and for bad. Even if it's just dipping my toes into it and doing some research, I still want to know as much about the game as I can for the purposes of the review. Thing is, one of the things they've done ever since this game has come out is they've really been pushing the multiplayer thing into its own thing, to the point where it is effectively its own game. And so, practically and functionally, we're considering the multiplayer stuff its own game, which isn't funded, and therefore we're not counting it as part of the review. Make sense? And by its own game, I mean its own games, because there's actually like 4 of them, which is exactly my point. Kind of a unique circumstance, but yeah, I was thinking about that today. There is that. Scroll forward a little bit. The intro... We didn't give an intro pause, I don't think we're going to. Couple missions that were good. Hey Nemesis, welcome to the Audit. Tomorrow we'll be covering Titanfall 2, I think. You can check if you type in !next into chat, or just check the website and hit the queue page. Outro. We called that a wash. Pacing. Oh, we're playing Ion Fury next. My bad. That's right, because I was going to build up to Titanfall 2, because I thought Titanfall 2 would be the best of the FPS mini-block. That's my mother. Why is my mother calling? Would you guys stop donating while I'm on the phone, please? Lore Mum says hi, everybody. And she also says stop donating immediately. She says you need to cease and desist. Very important. No, you totally said that. You did. Okay, I shouldn't lie. I'm a terrible liar. Everyone knows I'm a terrible liar. She did say hi. She did say hi. She says I have to let you donate. This is the order from Lore Mom now. So I don't know what to do about that. I guess. So my car broke. My friend Pax's computer broke. And my mother's phone broke. That was her calling on another line, which I knew about, but she never uses because it's there for emergencies. So that's why, if you saw my reaction when she called, that's why I was like... Now, it's not an emergency, it's just her phone broke. It's just, you know, she was keeping me in on the loop because she hadn't texted me in a couple days, and honestly, I was going to call her tonight if, you know, I didn't get a response. I was actually going to call her sister tonight. Because, huh? So good to know. She was also asking for some advice on getting a new phone and blah, 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 blah. And she says, never donate again. Alright, hang on. So I got a couple in the middle of that. I apologize to everyone on the VOD. Klaus, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. I do always appreciate it. If you know what you would want to put that towards, please let me know. I nearly died, Eric. But I did manage to survive, unfortunately. There was an incident. And then we had... Hang on, there was a donation from Vigilant. And then we had subs from Mr. Red. Okay, so thank you, Vigilant. As always. I feel like there was another one in the middle there. Did I miss it? Vigilant didn't even... Oh, yeah, there was Kinetic Consular. I knew there was another one. Thank you, Kinetic Consular. Very much. Now, I didn't hear what any of that goes towards. Vigilant wants to put it towards the car recovery fund, which is funny because that's exactly where it's going one way or the other. But if you want to put that towards a game, let me know, please. And same thing with Kinetic Consular, and same thing with Mr. Red. Thank you, all of you. I do appreciate it. I definitely need it right now. Cars are expensive. Ugh. Okay, where the hell was I? Right. We had just looked at... okay, so I'll put Mr... You're splitting them up, Mr. Red? How could you? Hang on, I wasn't ready for that. So that's going towards Modern Warfare 1. You got Kinetic Console. Just let me know. So what you're saying is this game is better than the original in every way hazardous. Understood. And other one we're going towards Call of Duty World at War. Vigilance is going towards World at War. Still haven't heard from Klaus, and Kinetic is perusing. Okay. Outro was just, it's okay. Pacing, that's where I was. I was at the pacing question. What do we feel about the pacing story-wise of this particular run? Valerian, I swear to God. I mean, the funny thing is, so here's the really quick answer, Walker. The car actually still runs, but it's not street legal anymore because the turn signals got taken out in the process. I didn't hit anyone else because I'm a damn good driver, but I did manage to hit a wall, and that was the choice, wall or other people. I hit the wall. So, wall. I made friends with a wall, as my sister put it. Am I a car guy? A little bit. I mean, I'm a bit of a car geek. I do enjoy Top Gear and the actual car part of Top Gear as well, not just the shenanigans part of Top Gear. But I'm really bad at the lingo, so I could tell you that I like this car in this manner with this style, but I couldn't tell you what any of those words are. Go watch the VOD, Eric. I'm not going to repeat myself. I already feel bad enough about bringing it up on camera. Who is me? I wasn't asking for donations. I was just mentioning why I was so appreciative of donations right now, because, you know, I just dropped money on a new car. Good night, Zvila. And privilege. What's really funny is I probably could try to get the Civic actually repaired. It's just, I think we're past the point where that's worthwhile. The, I'll send you a picture, Eric. I'll send you some pictures on Discord really quick. Hang on. The Toyota! I spit on Toyotas. Where's Eric? There you are. So, let's see here. Nope. Nope. There we go. So I'll just send you, like, the whole gamut of what ended up happening to the car. There you go. Sent. Yeah, tell me about it, Linero. I mean, I knew it was tough. No, I have to joke about it. Because I'm still in the post part. I'm still dealing with it. I'm still having issues. It's just like, I can still see the wall coming at me at that wonderful angle right there. And it's a unique sensation because you look at something like that and it's like, that's not, like there's almost this disbelief, right? Like that's not actually happening. And then there's this moment right before it happens where you realize it is actually happening. And then that's when the bad thing hits. And I've had to go through that more than I'd like in my life, but it's always a really unique sensation. I don't think this game has the themes that Modern Warfare 1 does, and it certainly doesn't have the themes that Modern Warfare 2 does, so I don't think I'm going to give that a plus. Voice acting was good. Voice acting was good. Let's chop that down, yeah. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Oh, hang on. So let's give voice acting plus. There was a little bit of visual storytelling, so we'll give that. We'll give that. So that just leaves pacing, which I'm still looking for feedback from people from. I don't know, just wants to talk about how I smashed into the wall at 50 miles an hour. Thank you, Helbcraft, very much. I do always appreciate. Thank you. It is always good to see. If you know what you want to put that towards, please let me know. Yeah, that's because YouTube likes to take forever before it actually uploads them. Why do I keep saying Helbcraft? It's Hebelcraft. Yeah, no, that would have been funny, wouldn't it? Just all of a sudden, there's no Sunday stream or Tuesday stream. Like the Sunday stream, people would just be like, "Did he say he was breaking?" I mean, he was only doing MLP anyway, so that can't be a big thing. And then we would hit Tuesday, and people were like, "Is he okay?" And I wonder at which point someone would start to wonder if something happened to me. Just morbid curiosity thoughts. I think we'll give one pacing positive. Can anyone tell me a negative to story for this game? Oh no, I'm definitely still doing that knock loose. Part of the problem is we've mostly been playing digital games or PC games lately, so I don't have a lot to add there. But whenever we hit Bloodstained, it's right down there, and I've got a couple over there that we're going to be adding to the list, so... Hey, Nostradalix, welcome to the end. I mean, it's not my fault that Price is amazing. Yeah, no, the game didn't hold its punches, but I don't think it... How do I explain this? I know that this changes... I'm going to talk about this in the room as well. I know that there are differences of opinion on fiction that handles sensitive materials. See Spec Ops The Line, for an example of this. Because for some people, Spec Ops The Line hit it well, and for some people, it didn't, right? For me, Modern Warfare 1, 2, and this one did well without actually going over the line, right? It never actually hit the point where I'm like, alright, this is stupid, I'm not dealing with this anymore. But I can think of fiction that has done that, and usually, this is a generic statement, but usually what tends to happen is fiction tends to do that when it's trying too hard, in my opinion. Modern Warfare 3 is a good example of a game that's definitely trying too hard, right? I gave Spec Ops a net negative rating, knock loose. I think. Actually, maybe I didn't. Hang on. I shouldn't say that. I'm thinking of Paradise Eve. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Paradise Eve. Wait a second. Spec Ops The Line got a 0. Plus 9 to story, negative 9 to gameplay. And honestly, that explains Spec Ops The Line pretty well. I wouldn't really recommend it. It's got some issues. But if you haven't played it, and you have it, and it's like $5, sure, go for it. Why not, right? So anyways, that's plus 18 to story on this game. I did that on purpose, I'm sorry. This game's better than Spec Ops The Line. You can quote me on that. You can quote me on that. We do make fun of it at a few points, Nockless. It does some good stuff. There are some good moments to Spec Ops The Line. That's why it was net positive on the story axis. It's just, the gameplay was kind of terrible. Not bad. Terrible. I was actively not enjoying... Anyways, so... Republic Commando, you got it, Kinetic Consular. Done. Alright. Gameplay. So we actually had several gameplay negatives for this one. I agree with that, Night Forager. I agree with that too, Sierra Mike. I mean, it's funny because one of the things, if I might admit, that kind of tainted my opinion of Spec Ops The Line was the comments section for people who said that I have no sympathy or empathy for the military. Because my biggest complaint was the fact that trained professional Spec Ops people broke down in the space of 2 days. Sure. I still think that's one of the most unbelievable and, least good parts of the story. And the funny thing is, I also, if you were paying attention to the rumination or the stream, I gave multiple ways to fix that, which wouldn't involve changing the core story all that much. But everyone who is complaining, of course, completely ignores those because that's how complainers work on YouTube. Come at me, bro. Anyways, so, moving on. It's okay, you all are awesome. The people who are actually listening to this are generally good. I've noticed that. Most of the garbage I get is over on the YouTube side of things. I'm giving a plus to AI design because it was good. Animations don't really apply. Valerian is insane. By the way, what do you actually want that to go towards, Valerian? You didn't actually tell me. Yeah, like maybe if it was a week, or maybe if it was a month, or maybe if it was 6 months, or maybe if they weren't Spec Ops, or whatever. There's so many ways to fix that, and they're just like... What, you want me to say that? Hang on. I'll put it right at the top of my notes, right here. Better than Spec Ops The Line in both axes, story and gameplay. So... Any problems? Audio spam wasn't an issue. There's no auto bad. Oh, the come at me, bro. Oh, I'm not going to say that. That's just stupid. That's just asking for it. Yeah. 3 green infantrymen. Done! No, that's great. Maybe that got separated from their division? I don't know. Damn right, Knock Loose. Welcome to the crew. The third axis. We'll call this axis the... What the hell would be the third axis? The Kirk axis? I don't know. The YouTube axis. There's no backtracking, there's no bestiary, there was only one boss, no bugs, no builds. Although... no camera to speak of, no built-in, no choice, no co-op to speak of, controls were fine. Core combats. This boils down to availability. Fire Emblem on the GameCube, Path of Radiance, I think, is a great game if you can get a hold of it. I am thinking... Yeah, there you go, Anditty. Perfect. Bring out the comfy chair. Yeah, we had choppiness for one scene. It wasn't even the whole mission. It was just that one scene. I have no idea where that came from. And it went away and never came back the whole rest of the game. It's weird. I'm going to give the gunplay a positive. I'm debating if I want to give it 2. I'm leaning towards no, because I can think of FPSs that do gunplay better. Because that's core combat in a game like this, right? Well, you can go to loremotor.com and hit the review page, which I believe there's a command for. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what the command is for the review page. Archive, maybe? Exclamation mark archive? Is it archive? Nope, it doesn't seem to be archive. Give me a minute. Let me finish the audit. I've delayed enough here. I still need to address Valerian's donation. But I'm trying to think, so help me think of this here. So there's plenty of... Oh, that was very good. I agree, Knock Loose. There's only one stage I gave more positives than that one. There's plenty of good FPSs in just sheer run, gun, shoot. And I feel like core combat is something that doesn't get a lot of positive for that because it's usually in other stuff. But I'm thinking of, like, say, Doom 4, which has excellent run-and-gun combat gameplay. Probably one of the best I've ever seen. Honestly, I would say several of the Halo games would also be up there. So, yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think we'll just give a positive. This is definitely good core combat. I'm kind of stretching anyways just to give that, so... Moving on. Cosmetics. Oh, absolutely. Just all those microtransactions. No. So, difficulty options ended up being a wash, but difficulty curve. I'm feeling a positive for that one. Yeah, I would agree with that, Sierra Mike. We'll give a positive for the difficulty curve. We've got durability, which doesn't apply, encounter rate, which doesn't apply, encounters. So encounters does apply. This is what enemies are used where to do what. Like, a game like this is probably almost assuredly not going to get enemy variety, because it doesn't really have enemy variety. There are people with guns, and they're trying to shoot you. But I think the encounter design is really what that comes more down to, and I'm trying to think if this game deserves a positive for its encounter layout and its patterning and design on that. Well, it wasn't a good game, Linnea, so what do you want from me? I honestly was really hoping to like that game, too. I don't know if you've seen that run. I was excited, and then it... That's true, Hazardous. There were several missions where Civvy's present, which was an interesting layer of challenge, because it was about checking my fire. Which, yeah, I mean, you saw. I don't have to explain that. I'll go ahead and give a plus for encounter design. Just the one. Correct, Knock Loose. For example, the next game we'll be playing will be Ion Fury, apparently, I believe. That'll be tomorrow. And that's probably going to be a one-day game, too, so then we'll do Titanfall and then whatever else is next in whatever order that's in. Occasionally, we redo the order a little bit, but that's kind of site-specific. So, the queue is a really good indicator of the order. Well, I will say this, Lunaruth. The third one, the one I played on camera, is probably the least fun of the three that I played. Make of that what you will. The second one was the one that really caught me. I actually did a room on that one. The one that was immediately before the one we played. I'm being vague because I don't remember the names of any of these. Tomb Raider Reboot 2, 3. No fast travel. Graphics. It is a graphically impressive game. I believe you, Gimmick. One of them's Rise, and one of them's Shadow, and one of them's I don't know what. Let's see here. Scroll forward a little bit. Oh yeah, very good checkpoints. Yep, all it's going to cost you is a few dozen $1 million, and I will play Subverse on camera. No, I haven't streamed any of the other ones. You know how it works, Linnea. People tend to donate for like the second or third game in a series for us to review. Alex must die, Zach Taft. We'll hunt him down, chop off his other leg. Subverse is a pornography space shoot-'em-up game. I swear, I mean, if Elon Musk wants to dump $100 million on me, I will absolutely stream a porn game, lose my Twitch channel as a consequence, and be set for life. Don't worry, I'll set up another streaming channel on something else. Like, that's just pragmatism at that point. Oh, there you go. I'll destroy my YouTube channel, because who gives a damn about YouTube? Oh yeah, there you go. I'll just use it. No, what's that other thing? OnlyFans. I'll stream it on OnlyFans. There we go. Well, that's exactly why I liked it, though, Kemek. There you go. I'll just stream it on Pornhub. I do have a Pornhub account. I've said that before. In the worst case scenario, if someone, if I lost YouTube and I lost Twitch, the final vestige of my show is going to be Pornhub. And I don't even remember my login for that. Actually, at this point, I'd have to look that up. I've got it written down somewhere. So there you go. It's time to Pornhub it up. Today we're streaming. What's that stupid game Shadow Machine always wants me to stream? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Yep, you gotta sub to Pornhub. It's the... I have no idea how that works, actually. Probably Sarah Mike. If you don't, Mr. Red, you might regret it someday. There's the microtransactions negative. Okay. Hunipop, that's the one. Hunipop. Yeah, Rumble... it's... About once a week, someone says, hey, you ever heard of Rumble lore? I'm not actually joking. My dad has actually said, hey, you heard of Rumble lore? Because he totally calls me lore. There's mid-mission checkpointing. Yeah, Rumble might eventually get there. It's probably not going to. Did I give 2 pluses for missions? Yes, I did. Okay. 2 pluses for mid-mission checkpointing, because it's really good. Of course, Warp Core. That's exactly what it is. There's no mod support to speak of. So I didn't really feel the music. The sound design was pretty good, which is funny because the sound design is also getting a negative. But I'm not sure I really think a plus for the music. That's another thing Modern Warfare 1 and 2 both have over this game, so I'll give you that one. We watched the outro, excuse me. Pacing was legit. There was the Princess Peach section, which got 2 positives for being awesome. Replayability. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I only noticed it like twice, Hazardous. By contrast, and I'm going to play only like a second of this because it's going to copy wrong me otherwise, but just... Yes, I have a playlist for this, shut up. So, for example, let's go with Boneyard. Like, it's got a vibe to it, right? It's immediately recognizable, and it sets the tone, and it's just awesome. Modern Warfare 2 is such a damn good soundtrack. Anyway, sorry, moving on. No, dear, I'm just here for lore. Oh, yeah, well, what's he telling? The lore of the clitoris. Price got 2 pluses. Because damn well. What is a Princess Peach section? A Princess Peach section, so named after Princess Peach, is a part of the game where the gameplay completely changes from what you're used to, and instead shifts into a completely different vector, and it's usually done to change up the pacing or the tone or the style, to give you a little bit of a breather section, or to give you a different perspective on something. It's actually a semi-common element when it comes to game design. But there's also some bleed over. For example, some games just constantly change up the gameplay mechanics. That's not a Princess Peach thing. By contrast, something like, say, playing as young Farah when we were dodging the Russian soldier who's trying to kill us, that is 100% a Princess Peach section. That's like cut and dry definition Princess Peach section. So, replayability. What are we feeling on replayability here? Because, yeah, there are some choices, and, I mean, Call of Duty games, good Call of Duty games get replay pluses anyway, so I don't even know why I'm asking this, so it gets a replay plus. I don't think it gets a second one, though. I don't think it does anything to earn the second one. Go forward. Raspberry Jam. Yep. Only 1 negative, though. That is better than some of them. Then we've got the save system, which is non-existent. Sound design. So, I'm definitely giving the negative to sound design because of the audio balancing problem. I'm feeling a positive as well. Especially because the guns, but also there's a decent amount of sound design in knowing who is wearing what. There's several of the stealth missions I almost entirely relying on sound design to navigate, stuff like that. And in a lot of cases, the sound was telling the tone, right? So it's weird that the sound design is good given how bad the sound design is. Yeah, exactly, Hazardous. Yeah, there were several cases, for example, on the mission where we had to rush the bunker with the machine gun in it. When we rushed into the bunker, the gun was still shooting, but it completely changed and muffled, and they did a little bit of, what do you call it, direction editing or whatever? There's a term for that. Environmental editing, I forget what it's called, in order to make it sound completely different, because now we were inside the bunker. Anyways. And yeah, speaking of which, the guns, so I actually added a new category a little bit ago, if you remember. I should have done this earlier, but whatever. We call it viscerality, which is exactly what it sounds like. This game absolutely gets a viscerality plus, because those guns were legit. There was some really good sound design to the guns. Does it deserve a second viscerality positive? It doesn't deserve a third. It's not on the level of like Halo 4, for example, but or Doom 4. Both of which have just magnificent viscerality to the guns. But do we think the guns deserve a second positive for viscerality? For the feel, the design, the oomph, the sound? Right? What do we think? No, I actually didn't notice that at all, Loke. I think I agree with you, Hazardous. I think it does inch itself into being a second positive. Like it's not at the level of third. But I think it's at the level of second. I think I'm willing to do that because yeah, there's good oomph, there's good impact, there's good sound, there's good visual, there's good variety too. Yeah, tell me about it, Remake. So, we didn't have unskippable cutscenes. Trash design, sound design, tutorialization, visual distinction. That's the negative. Yeah, we already gave that one. And that's actually it. Double checking. Any other thoughts before I code this up? Because it looks like we're looking at a plus 22 for gameplay, which is a really good score, especially for this short of a game. If you don't understand why that's so impressive, this game was 5.9 hours long with a score of 22. So even a little basic math right off the top of my head means that's more than 3 positives per hour. That's nuts. That's good density, which is something I keep a track of for the golden number calculation. So, let's see here. So this was a 5.9 hour game. 18 and 22. I gave a plus to both sides for that already, so here, Mike. The density of Portal 2. So Portal 2 is a decently long game, but it's also the best game I've ever reviewed under the current system. Portal 2 had a density of 6.21 positives per hour. Let me say that one more time. 6 positives per hour. There are games that have had more density than that, but keep in mind that Portal 2 was a 13.5-hour game. So, retaining that density over that length of time is insane. Anyways, so let's do a couple of calculations here. Yeah, they really liked to race between missions, but I didn't mind that much. So this is just 100. So 26 divided by 30. That. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Timefall 2. There's a reason I put it at the end of the mini block, the FPS mini block here. Because I figured that one would be a really good one. I really need to make a drumroll emote. If I have time today, I probably won't. After the rumination, I'll make a drumroll emote. I already know what I want to do with it. But drumroll, please. No, I stand by that. That makes sense. Let me double check a couple numbers here, but that yeah, no, that tracks. This is a damn good game. 127.06. As a quick reminder, if you're not looking at the golden number guest sheet, anything over 100 is a frickin' masterpiece. That is a damned good score, and I stand by it. That is a good game. I am legitimately shocked how good this game was. I will probably go ahead and replay it. No, this is... So, Nemesis, this is the Call of Duty Modern Warfare remake, which means we've never done a rumination of it, so it will get a new rumination. So yeah, let's check our numbers here. 127.06. Yeah, I think Dream Whisperer is gonna be closest. Double checking. You're the one. You make bath time so much fun. Yep, nope. Jesse Ward came really close. Yeah, 200 is the ridiculo good games. We've had a couple of 200 games. We've actually had 4. But to give you an idea of what it takes for a 200 plus game for me, Portal 2, Metroid Dread, Shovel Knight, Mega Man 11. Those are the only things that have eked over the 200 line so far. So make of that what you will. Also, 3 of those are platformers. I just realized. 3 of those are platformers. Whatever. Yeah, I have a whole legend there in the thing so that you can see exactly what the range is, because that range has been pretty. As usual, the goal is for the system to reflect reality, not for reality to reflect the thing. I think this will get the sushi tag. This was legit. It's a damn shame given all the garbage on top of it and all the irritation, because this is a legit game. So Dream Whisperer, if you're there, let me know. If you're not, well, I'll write it down because I've got another one right here too. But either way, Dream Whisperer, you get a donation towards a game of your choice at a time of your choosing. So next game, let me double check this. Dream Whisperer might have gone to bed. He's further east of me. Let me check the queue, because I'm pretty sure that, yep, okay, Ion Fury will be the next game. Oh, yeah. So I scheduled this way on purpose. So the next game is Ion Fury, which I know nothing about. Like, I know that it's a Doom homage. That's it. That's all I know about Ion Fury. And I keep misspelling it Iron Fury. Every time I go to type it, I accidentally type Iron Fury, because I'm an idiot, apparently. Titanfall 2, which I'm really looking forward to. But then, a game I have heard nothing but bad things about, and that is Wolfenstein Young Blood. And I scheduled that there on purpose as kind of a break before we get into the kind of but not really first-person shooters, which will be Prey and System Shock 1. And then we'll be out of the FPS block. So we'll see exactly how this works out, but I'm going to go work on apparently this is a Duke Nukem thing. What's the difference? I'm joking. Apparently it's, so I'm going to go work on the rumination for this and do some paperwork stuff. And you can buy this on Battle.net. Final little thing, if anybody's checking out here. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. I'll mention this again at the end. If you go looking for Modern Warfare or Call of Duty or whatever on Battle.net or whatever, you will not find it. What you need to look for is a game called Warzone. The name of this game on Battle.net is Warzone. If you look for Warzone or Call of Duty Warzone or whatever, that's where you'll find it, because that's what they listed as. In fact, literally, I'm looking at it right now on my page on Battle.net. It literally, the Modern Warfare isn't even on the frickin' screen. God almighty. Whatever. I'll see you next time.